First of all, let me welcome you to this exciting launching ceremony of the Climate Change Gender Action Plan of Pakistan. It is my profound privilege to be here, and I apologize for not being here in person because both women and climate change are very close to my heart, and I thought because I'm away for it to be appropriate to send you this recording, so do bear with me. And once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being supporters and collaborators in this great enterprise. I also want to, at the outset, thank all stakeholders and key partners that have joined us in a vigorous consultation process to produce this robust document. The Gender Action Plan of Pakistan is prepared by the Ministry of Climate Change, as you know, and with the support of the Readiness Grant of the Green Climate Fund and much support from the IUCN. So thank you, and please bear with me for a few minutes to share my enthusiasm with you about the subject at hand and what this report means to all of us. You do all know very well that Pakistan has been ranking among the 10 most vulnerable countries for more than 2 decades. It is on the front lines of climate change. You see it in front of you, and you also know that between the monsoons, the desertification, the glacial winds, the forest fires, the heat waves, we are now at the front lines of a great climate crisis that is running through the world, ripping through the world as we speak. And hope is not a plan, that we cannot just hope it will go away. So here we are with points and plans for every sector. Here we are with one of the most vulnerable communities in Pakistan, the women, and with the women, the children of Pakistan, who are always on the ground zero of conflict, of pandemics, of disasters, and of course they face the disproportionate effects of climate change, which Pakistan is clearly now acknowledging. The situation is complex, but it is very real. Women experience all kinds of predations when conflict strikes. Women are also the real agents of change when you need nature-based solutions, when you need any great transition to be owned by the people of a nation state or a community. And it is the women that make that change a reality, not just from their homes, but also from their fields, from the fisheries, from our factories, and from the boardrooms. There are not many of us in power, but for those of us who are, it is an important responsibility to empower and disperse as much opportunity and create a scaffolding for that opportunity for women who are, again, as I said, in the trenches of extreme vulnerability, particularly from the trauma of climate change and the displacements and migrations that often we see on the ground. We don't experience it firsthand all the time, but especially in the cities. But as you see, Pakistan has been at really the front of a very, very tough year of climate stress, and the situation demands an integrated effort for those that are living on the margins, for those that have not enough of a voice in their decision making, particularly health, economic, education, and politics. Women have traditionally been the caregivers of a hidden care economy, not just in the world, but most so in Pakistan. This needs to be acknowledged in all our efforts, in all our policy making, in all our executive actions. And I think it is now really high time that Pakistan recognizes, and we are doing so today, the fact that climate change affects women and men and those in power and those out of power differently. Women clearly experience all stresses, all violence, all predations of conflict and climate stress very, very disproportionately. There is a whole encyclopedia area of knowledge that now has led the world to come to such conclusions, but we see it on the ground every day. It is not just our business to narrow the gender gaps, but also to enhance the pace of climate preparedness and resilience for all, not just as a pragmatic policy, but also to be very, very clear in our intent, which is the twin actions of giving women higher opportunities, better preparedness, and mitigation against the extreme vulnerability they face when climate comes with when climate stress and disaster comes with no appointment. Here we are, and I'm sure much is going to be discussed. Women work closely with nature, women work closely with households, with making decisions on how resources are conserved, particularly water, forests, many other things, or how energy is saved or used. And these are all important, very important ideas and pointers to where we can take our planning, to where we can take our policies, and where we can build actual communities of change on the ground. So women can be agents of change, and very powerful ones at that. So with these words, I just want to once again appreciate the efforts of IUCN Pakistan to really put out all their efforts for important convenings that led to this report, and even for today, which has allowed us to develop this first ever climate change gender action plan. It will not only support awareness raising and capacity building, but our abilities to build bridges of collaboration between institutional silos that embrace a policy but are unable to unlock the momentum needed to foster and engage communities in real change. So while we have set ourselves up for creating good policies, they are the foundation of all action, executive action. I have to also say that it is high time that Pakistan revisit the nationally determined contributions submitted to the UN-FAO for including gender considerations more importantly and for mainstreaming them more effectively, because I think clearly in that document more needs to be done to include the women of Pakistan. We make the country's climate economy go around, but we also really are at the front lines of all change, if that is what is needed, and clearly it is. We can't all be a talking shop, and until you give and empower the tools of change to women and build resilience and bring them to the table in decision making for creating building blocks of resilience, you won't really see stakeholding on the ground for actually conserving resources and creating, overcoming barriers to enhancing mitigation and adaptation efforts in climate change. So once again, I thank the IUCN. I also would like to take this opportunity to invite the IUCN to assist us in this NDC review for a transformative engagement of women. We may not be reviewing other pointers in the NDC, but this one definitely needs a little bit of work, quite a lot of work. And so I use this opportunity once again to prevail upon your good offices, IUCN. And I look forward to working with all of you, with friends, with activists, with donors, and all those people who raise climate awareness on their own because they feel that it is their responsibility. Climate action is our responsibility. Let's take it now and let's prioritize women at the center of our policy. Thank you very much and best luck for today's function.